Today is a very chill Sunday. I didn't have to go to work. I didn't have any assignments to do at all because it's already summer in Australia. So like to me this is like one of the very first Sundays that I could actually like relax and just chill at my place and literally have nothing to do. I actually have one more thing to do, which is driving lessons like later today. So I think we could just like hang out and have a little kind of chit chat, get ready with me while I'm applying the least used makeup in my collection. Yeah, I got this idea of course from like someone from YouTube, and I think it's fascinating to think about the makeup that I hardly touch at all nowadays. Not because the quality isn't there anymore. I still find some of them is really good for the time, but maybe my style of makeup has changed, my color preferences has changed. Yeah, for multiple reasons that I just like I just keep forgetting about them. So yeah, just let's roll in the video. Once again, it's a very hot and sunny day here in Perth, and I tried to film like later on, today. Like this is around 4 to 5 p.m. already, because the last time I filmed it's around noon, so it's like the sun is like all over the place. First of all, I have Smashbox for the finish primer water, so it's like a primering and setting spray all in one, and the primerizer. So I bought these, I believe like 1 or 2 years ago when they were so hyped and people loved them, but I never get into setting spray and primer at all. Like I use them every once in a while, every once in a blue moon, but I just don't care about them at all. And yeah, for a reason or another, I just don't feel like they add certain values to my makeup routine. Like I don't see much differences. I don't wear makeup so like it'll last a whole day. I just need like 6 to 8 hours. But today, for the sake of this video, I'm gonna try to use them. Actually I'm trying to finish it. There's like a tiny bit left of it, so I'm gonna finish. So like I'm trying to finish this setting spray because I bought another one. Like I'm a ridiculous person. I think I'm a hypocrite by definitions. I've just bought a new setting spray, but I want to use it as kind of like a skincare. So it's just like a refreshing spray, not like a spray that helps hold your makeup longer. Do you know what I mean? So so I don't feel like too guilty about that. It's just like I want to add an extra skincare-ish step to my makeup routine. So I just try to finish this by the end of the year, and maybe also this one. Like I also has like a decent amount left, but like not too much. And I've had a pretty bad allergic reaction lately, and my skin has broken out like no tomorrow. I don't know what happened. So I think an extra step of hydrating and moisturizing is quite necessary. I mean, this is good. This is like a good priming moisturizer, but I don't think it's any better than any like real hydrator or real moisturizer that you use as one of your skincare steps. So I think it's just worth it to invest in a good moisturizer compared to that of purchasing a primer, like, and pore minimizing primer is not my priority right now. So like I don't need my pores to be minimized anymore when I have a solid skincare routine that already takes care of that part. So long story short, if you have a chance to invest in a good skincare routines with products that you can trust and you know that you're gonna have consistent result with them, good. I don't think you need setting sprays and primers at all. And sunscreens, like please use sunscreens. I think this is a good spray, like the nozzle is pretty good, but I don't have that satisfaction that people get when they kind of like set their face with any sort of liquid, you know? It's actually quite tacky, so maybe this is the part that people really love about these kinds of products, that yeah, it's gonna help you a lot with like sticking products to your face. Moving on to foundation and concealer, or like products with more coverage, your complexion product. So I have the L'Oreal Infallible up to 24-hour fresh wear foundation. I have the shade 250. This is not my shade, this is too pink rosy undertone. And I have this cushion from Eclipse. I cannot read anything from the packaging at all because it's all in Korean. Yeah, it's a very old cushion. Throughout the lifetime of this cushion, I don't think that I have loved it at all because it's thin, it's too dewy, and it doesn't provide a hell ton of coverage, and you have to give me something, right? So there is a matte version of this cushion that came in a black packaging, and I love that one. It gives such satin matte finish with, you know, decent coverage for a cushion. I loved it so much, but I gave it away for my aunt. And I purchased this one, and this is not the same. I thought I would be really into dewy finish product, but turns out I'm not. And yeah, it's separating, it's tricky, it's just weird. Like I don't get any satisfactions every time I use it, and yeah, I just don't want to use it every time I look at it, although it sits in front of my face like right away in my drawer, but then I just don't want to use it. So this might be a declutter. Like after this video, and I still feel that bad about that, I think I'm gonna declutter it. Like I've used it, like I tried to use it, and there's not a lot of product left, just like a tiny bit left. But with a cushion, you cannot exactly tell the point that you out of the product, so there's maybe a little bit still lingering in the sponge itself, but like you cannot get it out, and the application is not even at all. Yeah, so I don't like this one, and the problem is not the product for the L'Oreal foundations. I think the finish is really good. It's dewy, but this is the type of dewy that sets down into a kind of dry down, but in a good way finish. So I love it. And it's very smooth. I have textured skin. The reason why, so like the main reason why I don't use foundation at all, because I'm really insecure about the texture on my skin, and I feel like if I spread any product with coverage too far away from where I want coverage, I'm gonna get a really horrible overall canvas with like texture showing through. So I just like spot concealing, doing concealing under my eyes and around my nose. That's everything I do on my day-to-day basis. So I bought this one because of the hype, but now I realize foundation is just not something that's practical in my routine. I just don't think about using it at all. But I'll keep it. I didn't have it like that long, so I'll think I'll keep it as just like one option of foundation in my collection, so that I have something to talk about when I want to talk about foundation. Does that make sense? Yeah, I said the shade match is wrong, but it's not like wildly wrong. It's my skin tone shades like light to medium, but just with a slightly off undertone. So I'm gonna mix these two today. Yeah, I'm trying to pick up some more product from this one. Yeah, I don't feel like I have any much product left, so it's feel more relieving now to declutter this one. I've recently gotten these two puffs. They're from the brand Manicure, so it's like a, I think, manicure tools, sometimes makeup sponges, makeup brushes brand. But I think they're so cute. This one is in like the lilac pink shade, and this is like straight up pastel purple. I love them so much. This one I use for powder, it's a bit dirty. And this one is like, I haven't used it at all. And it has this like latex kind of makeup sponge texture. And this one is like velvet powder thing. I'm gonna use this one today for the cream products. I'm gonna spray it a little bit. I'm not sure if we need to wet it, but I'm just not sure how to use it, to be honest. I think the result is gonna be a bit better if I mix this one with the L'Oreal foundations, because the L'Oreal foundation is pretty solid. I know it's like a cult favorite now. Okay. Okay. It's a bit light, both of them, because I recently got a bit of tan. Now I'm a bit hesitant, like maybe I can use the cushion one more time. So like I always have that attachment or like possession issue that as long as I discover just one use for any product in my life, I just don't want to throw it away. Although my initial intention is that like, you are kind of useless in my life right now. Why do I choose to keep you all the time? But then I discover like just one tiny purpose of using that product in a different way, and it's kind of work. And I mean like, maybe I should keep it. Like maybe I can get like 2 or 3 more uses out of it, and that would be great. I don't know, it's a good mentality. Like in a way, it's kind of conscious the way that I, you know, consume goods in general. That you don't just throw it right away. You reuse it, you repurpose it. Like I just dip in the cushion and I realize there's a bit more product. And it actually looks pretty nice on my already rough skin today. Although it's not a really good idea to apply makeup on a skin that has recently broken out. But I don't know. It actually looks pretty good. Dang. See, maybe I should use primers more often. Maybe I should use a setting spray more often. Like, it's weird, right? It's weird, like, so maybe I've been doing my makeup wrong the whole time, and I didn't know. Powder up next. So this is the number 7 Perfect Light Loose Powder in the shade Translucent. I got this one during my trip in Thailand, and that was a while ago. I have 2 loose powders in my collection. This one and the Too Faced Peach Perfect, like loose settings powder or something. The product itself is quite nice, but overall I'm a powder in a compact kind of gal. So I think the hassle is just too much. Back in Vietnam, I exclusively use like loose setting powder. So I have this one, I have the Innisfree one, and I have a Too Faced one. I rotated them so frequently because I need a, you know, heavier matte finish. But since I moved here, I don't think I need that at all. And I prefer the Too Faced one to this one, to be honest. I just like the kind of natural finish of that one. So if you remember, the peach powder has kind of this like pink and peach undertone. So I think it's just more flattering. This one is like, it's translucent of course, but the undertone overall is quite yellow, and I don't think that's my journey. I just like something that's like a bit more natural. It doesn't look like I apply a lot of powder. I feel like with loose setting powder, you have to apply a lot. It's even way more than the amount that you picked up from a paint of a compact. And foundations and cushion, like foundation in general, inherently you apply such a hefty amount of products on your face, and by the time you finish applying them, they look really good, they look flawless. But by the time that you finish your makeup or you go out for a couple of hours, the more products on your face, the more movement they do on your face. That's kind of the idea. And so like more separations would happen. So like more product, the higher chance that they're gonna move around and they're gonna mix up with the oil, with dust and every other environmental factors. So that's why I try to keep my at least complexion products on my face at the minimum, just like a bit correcting or concealing under my eyes, around my nose, and yeah, a slight touch of powder, so that if anything gets weird, it gets weird locally. So like it's not any patchiness around this area of my face that I wouldn't like notice at all, like nothing weird around my forehead, because yeah, it's very noticeable. Like the larger area that you have product on, the more noticeable it's gonna be. So I guess the reason why I don't use these kinds of product in this day and age, it's just because it's not functional to me. Like I don't think that I need to conceal blemishes and imperfections of my face to the point that I risk the chance of everything look weird as a whole. So no shame to any product that I mentioned. This cushion, this foundation, and a number 7 powder, everything works well. The primer, the setting spray as well. But we'll see. Like I'm gonna look at the result of this look at the end of the night. So it's gonna be a 5-hour kind of test. It's not very valid, but maybe I'm gonna leave a comment to tell you how it looks at the end of the night, because it's interesting. I haven't done this kind of complexion routine in a while, and I really want to see the result, and I really want to give a verdict for the result. This is really interesting. It's look really good right now. Really good. It looks really good. It's not like too full coverage because I didn't try to, but it looks really nice, and I'll consider this is one of my options to do my makeup next time. But like, do I have that much time? So this is like a Sunday of the year for me to like have this entire day free to do this kind of routine. Do I have that much time the other days in my life? I'm basically chasing sunset right now. But like when I think of that at the back of my mind, I'd be like, is that the right name of the show, or like am I making it up? Anyway, let's get into some colorful stuff. Bronzer. Let's do some bronzer first. I have this Good To Go Mini Mix palette from Ofra. Oh, do you remember the hype that Ofra highlighters get? That's insane. Like, every person on the internet talked at some point about Ofra highlighter and said that's one of their favorite formula. That's insane. But I got this one. Like, some of the products in my collections, I got them too late. I don't know why. Or maybe like it was not that very accessible back in Vietnam, and I don't think it gets any better since the movie because the shipping takes too long. And yeah, it's Australia. It's an isolated island. The updating rate of new waves of makeup is just a slow. So I think I'm gonna be quite behind in a lot of makeup games. But it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal at all. I tried a highlighter, but it's already past its prime. So right now the trend isn't this like blinding and you can see it from the outer space kind of highlighter anymore, and people are into like natural finish, a bit like dewy, glowy, rather than blinding highlighters, I assume. But I know it's still the style of makeup that a lot of people pursue, so I think it still has a place. It never has a place in my collection at all. Like, I kept forgetting that I have one. And I don't know, this is not gonna be the highlighter I'm using today because I have another one, but like I barely touch any pen here. I think the eyeshadows are underwhelming. The color story of 6 of them is just mediocre to me, like not very cohesive. I couldn't think of a look that I like, and there's no purple in here. I'm sorry. The blush is okay. This is a generic color blush. There's no nuance and intricacy into the formulation and even the color of the blush, and it's matte. So like I said, it's a generic one, so forgettable. So I have the same validations for the bronzer, but the bronzer is actually the one that I use the most in this palette, but it's still the least used bronzer compared to the other ones in my collection. So maybe at some point in the future, when we look back at the beauty brands that people used to love back in the day, we would be surprised to see some legendary names like Ofra or MAC. I don't think MAC has died out yet, but the artistry of MAC products is not the one that I personally pursuing right now. So like the concept of the brand as a whole is not what I'm looking for, but individually each product, some have certain aspect that would appealing to me, like glowy products or like glossy lips. I think they're trying a lot of brands are trying a lot to catch up with the trends, but I don't know, because everything that is viral and trendy right now is just micro trends. It comes and goes, and who knows, it could last like a week or two and then disappear, and then it resurfaces. So I think the most important aspect of having a makeup repertoire is to figure out which part of that one is the solid line. So that's the baseline. I'm never gonna change from that, and there's a certain aspect that's fluctuating. So like at the baseline, everything could add up or subtract down. And yeah, you have to figure it out yourself, or else you keep chasing trends that don't last very long and basically don't look good on your face and on your skin tone, or your skin type, or like appropriate to the events or the occasions that you want to go to. It reminds me of the process when you are a kid and you try to figure out what's your favorite color. You remember that? I don't have like a solid timeline of that process. I believe some creative people, maybe they do, and they still remember it vividly. But to me, like at one point I was really into yellow because I watched this like Power Ranger movie, and the girl in yellow costume, she's just the best, she's the cutest, she's the coolest, she's this like kind of introverted but has superpower kind of gal, and I love her so much, so I thought I would be into yellow. But then I turned out to be a solid purple girl. I don't know, at any point, maybe when it was around like 13 or 14, probably late. So I spent probably my entire childhood just to figure out my favorite color. And I think the same philosophy, the same theory could apply for makeup if you intend to wear makeup for the rest of your life, which I intend to do. I think the color of this bronzer is really nice, just like right up my skin tone. But something about it that's like 2016, 2017 that make me a bit, you know, wary to wear it. Like, is it too heavy? No, it's not gonna be the finish when you use a cream or liquid bronzer, which I'm really into right now. But like, I would rather skip bronzer and then apply a touch blush. I'm that kind of girl. So the baseline is like, I can have a bit of bronzer, but if I have more blush to compensate that, it would be okay. Blush. Galifornia from Benefit. Oh, couldn't stress enough how much I saw it on YouTube around, like I said, 2017, 2018. That's the rise of the box blushes and the Hoola bronzer. So, and I got this one, I think around that time, 2018, 2019, like not too much later than anyone, but I just don't like the color. This is not the color that I want to wear. So the part that kind of like struck me a little bit, that I like the things that most people don't like. So this is maybe a very universal, like a very versatile blush color that most people would be comfortable to approach. So it's conservative. This is a very conservative option. A peach, slightly warm color, and it should fit me because I have yellow undertone. But I don't like this color. I mean, I want to wear something that's mauve and has a bit of like pinky or cool undertone, because like I know my favorite color is purple, so I at the slightest way want to incorporate a little bit of purple into everything that I wear on my face. So this one is like a very gorgeous blushing finish. I really like this look right now. Just applying the bronzer and the kind of orangey coral blush. It looks like summer. It looks so gorgeous. And I know that I'm gonna do this look, so I try to wear some of my like summer color shirts. But would I wear this every day? So like when I look at my blush drawer or blush tray, would I want to grab for something of this color? That's a very serious subconscious question. Like, even though you know the finish gonna be really great, because this blush is good, like, no shame to benefit to produce such a wide range of blushes with different colors, with different undertones, different finish. That's beautiful. So Galifornia, this one, when I look at it, I know what it contains, I know what it can deliver. Do I still want to use it? Not necessarily, so that's why I don't use it, just because of the color. But the formula and the finish was really good. But I mind that like warm and orange and really like flush in a warm tone, hot summer girl. No, I'm not. I'm a cold girl. I'm cold all the time. And I want that's like bruised, like reddish, pinkish, and mauve blush. So that was my journey. In the grand scheme of things, this one is a bit glittery. But it would fit. It would fit in the summer because everybody is chasing this kind of look. Okay, highlighter. I don't wear highlighter nowadays. I think it's excessive. I'd rather wear a glowy blush on top of my kind of complexion products, so I have that bit of a glow, or I just want my natural glow because I have oily skin. At the end of the day, I already have a lot of shyness on my face, so I don't wear highlighter at all. I have this Physician Formula Butter Blush. It's a blush, but it doesn't look like a blush at all. I don't think anyone could wear this as a blush, to be honest. It's just straight up champagne with a little bit of a pink undertone highlighter. So that was my purpose, to use it as a highlighter, and that's really powdery. It's so blinding. That's why I don't wear highlighter at all. It's so blinding. I'm scared. At this stage, I'm terrified of applying a lot of highlighter. It makes me look like a tin man. Why I was applying highlighter on the bridge of my nose, on the tip of my nose, and around this area, I realized the makeup that I use to list my collection is actually those that I wore all the time back in when I first started wearing makeup. So that's the time when I was learning how to do my makeup, and it's around 2017, 2018, and that exactly the iconic look that people did at the time. Wow, that's not any novel revelations, but just the relationship between your makeup routine with your reference, your own self-identity when it comes to makeup is kind of like progress through time. It's just interesting to look back. And right now my aesthetic is like kind of different from this. It's kind of nostalgic in a way. I'm gonna do my eyebrows off camera. I'm gonna use the Hourglass Arch Micro Sculpting Pencil. I got this in like a subscription box, and it's in the shade Soft Brunette. I'm not a brunette, and I'm definitely not a soft brunette, so the shade's wrong. That's why I barely use it at all. It shows up, like if I applied it hard enough, it shows up a bit of color on my brow, but it takes too much time to use this product. And I realized, you know what I realized? I don't like micro brow pencil because I do have eyebrows to begin with, so I just want to like define it a little bit to fill in like the missing spots, but not like micro drawing fiber on my brows. So that's why I don't see myself have a certain space for this product in my routine. So that's why I use it the least. I just love a flat or triangular tip brow pencil so that I can easily fill it in. It takes me like 2 seconds to finish everything, and that's just this exact amount of time that I really wish to spend to do my eyebrow every day. Or I'll just leave it as it is, like I don't mind. It's not perfect, of course. I zoom in a little bit because I'm gonna do an eye look, and I want to show you the most neglected palettes in my collection. So I have Colourpop palettes. I mean, they are not bad quality at all. I think there's a huge conversations about how fast they release new products and how the quality has changed or has not changed at all with that kind of releasing rate. I don't have a lot of opinion on that. I think those are business people and they have their own decisions to do whatever they think would be profitable and lucrative for their own goodness. So I also have the Sweet Talk palette. People love this palette. It's like Samantha March favorite palette, I think in 2019 or 2018. She loves the palette, and this is kind of like the color story that people love at the time. Forget about the purple because those are magnetic pens, so I kind of like love shuffling them around and create my own palette. I love these for that reasons because I feel like I can be a little bit more creative, but like even when I have already created a palette that I love, I still don't use it. I don't know. So that's this palette that I bought before anything else. This is an Inner Trance palette. This is my favorite. I still think this palette is really good and I love every single thing about this palette. But the other ones, so like the blue and the green, I don't think I can use it at all. And even the Baby Got Peach palette, like this Sweet Talk palette, these colors, so like once again forget about the purple. These like orangey, peachy palette were so trendy back in the day and people love them. Yeah, but except the Lilac Yellow and Inner Trance palette, these are purples and I know these are the color stories that I love. I basically don't care about the rest, and I think that was my mistake. The things that I need to take myself accountable from now on, that I don't purchase anything that I know that I don't use at all. But I thought I would use them. I would thought that they are so colorful. I was thinking that, I mean, I would be so creative, but like that time has gone and it has gone hard on me. I think at first I'm gonna dip into some of the oranges and peachiness in this palette. I think I'm going to use this shade called Perky. So it's very powdery. So I think overall, the formulation is just like middle of the road for me. The mattes are okay, and the shimmers, some are better than the other. I really like the Super Shock. I have some like Super Shocks pens in some of the palettes, and I think they are really nice. But the traditional shimmers, sometimes they can be very lackluster. So I don't want to take a lot of risk using that one because I have so many. Like I don't have the brain capacity to remember in each palette. Okay, these shimmers are mediocre. Just like approach them with a bit of caution. And I mean, who has time for that? You want a solid palette that every time you use it, you are excited, you are amazed, you know that everything you do is going to be good. You want that palette, you want that mentality. But sometimes life happens. Like there's no way you know what is going to happen until you actually use the palette. You can just watch it in the store, but like the whole experience is going to be very different when you like actually have time to sit down and do a look with it. So I guess it's all about experience and practice. It does sound a bit academic though, but everything, actually that's basically everything that you want to be good at, or everything that you love, or everything that you want to commit your whole time. Just spend time, experience more, and practice some more. And sometimes mistake happens and the money is already lost and you pay to listen. Sometimes it's a bad lesson, sometimes it's a good lessons, but every lesson costs some sort of resources from your part. So I don't want to stress myself out too much, because I have makeup in my collection that remain untouched or barely used at all, but it's a nature of owning more than what you need. And I don't want to claim to be a maximalist, but I'm definitely not a minimalist. I want to have a collection. I just want to have beautiful things in my collection. I want to have options. I want to be at least creative with makeup. I cannot see the sun anymore, so it's probably a bit dark right now, but like I said, we're gonna carry on. I'm gonna dip into this shade. This is a beautiful, like, purpley brown. I love this one a lot. Feel free. This is like one of the shades that every time I look at a palette that I inherently don't like, but like, I like you among any other thing that I don't like, and I want to use you. So I'm gonna dip in the outer corner. I'm trying to be quick, but every time I sit down and talk, I basically have no idea why I'm talking, and everything keeps getting longer and longer. This is very vulnerable, but the other day, one of my coworkers, she asked me that I'm not sure what is like the right context, what is her intention, what she actually thought when she asked me that question. But she was like, oh, like, where are you from? Because you're not very fluent in English at all. And I'd be like, she's from Nepal, so she has her own accent. And I'm not being petty here, like, just to be realistic. I don't think she is anywhere that's more fluent than me in English. But when she asked me that, like, subjectively, I'm not a native speaker. I don't speak like a native speaker. But I don't think that the way that she phrased it is the kind of verdict that I got on my day-to-day basis. People were like, oh, you've been living here for a year. You're actually quite good for someone who has lived here for a year. Like, that would be the kind of reactions. Like, I have friends at university, they are native speakers, or people have lived here for like 6-7 years, and they don't say that to me because they could understand it or no, like they are more sensitive about it. And it make me so insecure. Like, I feel like I was contracting, right? Just tiny and fit into a nutshell, and I could just disappear. Because that's something that makes me really, really insecure. Like, I'm not very fluent in English. Is that really what you mean? I don't think I'm native speaker level of fluency. Of course, I'm not. I have an accent. But with my friends, with my closer friends right now, and with my professor at university, with the kind of assignments report that I deliver in university, I know that I'm one of the non-native speakers that could speak quite well for where I'm at right now. And I don't know. Or maybe I'm petty. Maybe I think about it too much. But there's something that I'm very conscious about. Like I said, I'm very insecure about that. So the way that she phrased it, or just like she didn't really mean it, or she doesn't know a way to ask that ethnicity question. You're not very fluent in English. That's what she said. You're not very fluent in English. I guess at the end of the day, it's just me trying to be a bit better at what I'm doing. So I have this kind of super shock formula here. It's called Side to Side, and this is so good. So if I have to declare this palette, I'm gonna keep the shade because it's just it's so texture, and it doesn't have any base, but it's glittery, and it's so fine. It's really good. It looks really, really good. I love the shade so much. So maybe I should declutter most of my Colourpop palettes and just keep the individual shades that I know I love. And I know I could do just like one done look, like that Super Shock one. I don't know, maybe I should. I don't know, maybe I should. I don't know. So like, I'm gonna take the risk to do some extra step with the glazed shade. So it's this shade right here. This is the one that I know is lackluster. Oh, I just want to tie it right here between the matte and the glitter shimmering one. It's very lackluster, to be honest. Like, the mattes are really good and the Super Shock is just like, you cannot complain anymore. But then you have, in a 9-pan palette, you have like 3 shimmer shades that don't deliver anything, that don't have any really nuance and depth and significant qualities in it. And you'd be like, what is your purpose here? When I don't think about you, when I don't want to use you? So I think this look is so good. It's really, really good. I'm torn. Maybe I should use some of these more. But like, it's nowhere like purple. Purple actually brings me a lot of joy just to look at them. I'm actually using the Aqua XL eye pencil from Makeup Forever. I use it in the shade M10. It's like a black. And this one is really stiff to use directly on your eyes. That is the way that I want to use my eyeliner. I want something that emollient and soft and like movable and smudgeable, so that I can do kind of a, you know, I don't like a wing. I don't like a really sharp. So I just want to do something like this. So like, to define my eye shapes a little bit better. So this is exactly what I want to do. And this one is just like so stiff for this. It actually damaged my eyes and tear ducts using this one. So I recently discovered that if I use it with like an angle, a really tiny angle brush, this one is so great. This one is like really cheap. I bought it off a website in Vietnam called Shopee. It's actually like Temu or Alibaba. It's like a Vietnamese version of that, just a little bit better. This is like so cheap, but it's like so thin. It's like 0.5 millimeter thin. And I think this is the best way that I have applied this Makeup Forever pencil. So if I have to go this kind of distance to use this one, I think I don't need to use it very often. It's so high maintenance, to be honest. And it's really dark. I would prefer brown, or like a chocolatey brown, or even a plum purplish brown. I would prefer them, but not this one. Sorry, I didn't plan this video to be so long, and it has been really long by now, but thank you for still being here with me. The 2 products that I want to use today is the Dior Lip Maximizer. This is kind of a plumping product that has a bit of a minty tingling sensation. Not my favorite option. I prefer the lip glow, but my mom said she's out of hers and she really, really liked that formula, so I just gave her mine because I have a lot. I mean, I'm the one who shops for makeup products more frequently than anyone else, so if my mom loves it, I would just give her that. I could purchase it some point in the future, but now I'm kind of like stuck with this one. This is really expensive, but I don't use it at all, to be honest. It's still very full, although I was almost out of mine at the time I gave the lip glow to her, and I purchased them at the same time. So I don't know, I just don't like that plumbing sensation. So I don't think how long it's gonna take me to finish this one. Maybe like never. And this one from Bbia. This is a Korean, but this is less talk back in the day, like 2018. I mentioned that time a lot because I purchased most of these products around that time, and like I said, I have grown now way more quickly than I anticipated out that phase, and I neglected the part of my collection that was really solid for the time and move on to the new phase. So this is like a brick orange color. They have, I think, up to this point 100 shades of this line. I don't remember the name of the liquid lipstick exactly. Like, it's a liquid lipstick. I didn't mention that. I don't remember the name of the liquid lipstick, to be honest. But yeah, I'm gonna try to insert the name somewhere so like you know. If you know, you know how iconic it is. I think the good idea is to apply the lip maximizer first because I don't want to ruin the beautiful applicator. Overall, I tend to ignore my lip glosses and liquid lipsticks, so I'm still a bullet lipstick kind of girl, like a sandy, matte, or I just wear like tinted lip balms and lip oils. And I hardly use liquid lipstick at all. I actually can feel the sensation right now. Don't get me wrong, I used to love the shade so much. And people around me at that time when I went to university in Vietnam complimented me a lot on this shade in particular. They said it like suited for my skin tone in a way, and yeah. So there was one girl, she went out to purchase this one as a birthday gift for her sister based on my recommendation, like you should purchase this, it's like affordable and the formulation is just like nice. I'm not sure about makeup trends in Korea and Vietnam nowadays, like to be honest, I can hardly catch up with like makeup trends in Australia, like, or in the YouTube space that I watch. So I'm just doing my own thing, and I think that's a good thing. Just know your own things and just do it, and you're gonna know that, and you're gonna notice that something has changed, but in a certain way. There's a certain baseline, there's something that not gonna change at all because that's your own identity and you feel comfortable to that your comfort zone. And people say sometimes stepping out your comfort zone, and that's true, you should always have a comfort zone. But if you want to experiment anything new, you can allow the limits of the things that you can do more flexible. So like you can someday be a bit more creative, do something bolder, or sometimes you want everything to be like even more subtle, even more subdued than what you normally do. And I think that's just a nice thing to do, especially with makeup. Once again, I'm Cloudy, and this is a video about the least few makeup product in my collection. I really hope you enjoy it, and thank you for being here. Anyway, and hopefully we'll see each other again. Bye.